after that. Okay, welcome everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to our first Lunch and Learn Wellness webinar, brought to you by NAU's Culture Club in partnership with Alumni Relations. I'd like to introduce our host for today's webinar, Chace Larsen. Chace graduated from NAU in 2010 with a bachelor's degree in athletic training, and he has a background as a personal trainer. He currently works for NAU as a military enrollment and staff training specialist and serves as a captain in the South Dakota Army National Guard. Today, Chace is going to share with us some healthy living tips and tricks. Welcome, Chace.
Hey, Tammy, thank you. Thank you very much. And welcome, everyone. I hope everyone has had a good day so far. I'm going to take you guys through and just kind of give you some really short, easy to remember, tips, tricks, and advice for just really starting to, create that healthy living. And the question always comes up, what is healthy living? Well, healthy living is simply, taking care of yourself, taking care of your body mentally and physically. We're going to focus more on the physical portion today, and looking through some of the webinars that we have coming up, it looks like they're going to look at some of the mental aspects of keeping yourself healthy as well, because the two really go together. As far as keeping yourself healthy, let me click on the screen here. So, healthy living and just health in general is really a life choice. It's something you have to decide, and only you can really change or choose to change your life. No matter where you are in life, you're the only one that has that power to do so. Something that helps when you're making that decision is find someone to make that decision with you, because it's hard to do anything alone. Over the course of the last, 10 years or so, I've had client after client after client that came to me, and, we helped them to really change their life. And the reason why they kept coming back even after they knew it. The way I train people is I'm training you to where you don't need me anymore. If I can get you to a point where you can do it on your own and you don't need me, then I've been successful. But I have had several clients who keep coming back because I'm part of their motivation. I'm kind of their buddy, or we call it in the Army a battle buddy. That guy that stands beside you and gives you support and helps you move forward. A personal trainer isn't the answer for everybody. But finding a buddy is. It helps move you forward. It helps to motivate you. It gives you someone there to share the difficulties, share the sweat, share the tears sometimes, and then share the triumphs as well. The other thing you need to do is to really internalize your motivation. There is, extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. And without getting too deep into that, the most successful people are the people who are internally motivated. They're doing this for them. They're not doing this for somebody else. They're not doing this for their husband, their wife, their kids, their whoever. They're doing it for themselves because they want to improve themselves and they want to change their life. A lot of those people also have kind of an internal contest, with themselves. They always want to better themselves. They always want to, hey, well, this is how well I did last time. So that's my benchmark. So now I want to beat that. I want to improve. So really, to be successful is, once you internalize that motivation and find that I'm doing this for me, I'm not doing this for anybody else. I'm doing this for me. You can really access a new level of motivation to help move you forward and to help really find that place where you're happy in life. So only you can change your life. Find a buddy, internalize your motivations. Kind of the top three things that I can point out as, really tips for making those life choices and being able to stick with those life choices. Change the slide. Come on. There you go. Gotta love technology. There we go. Oh no. All right. So the other thing that everybody runs onto when you start this journey, because it really is a journey to healthy living, is a lot of myths. Especially with the internet, Facebook, everybody has an opinion, and there's always these, old wives' tales, if you will, or myths that are out there. And these are kind of the top three that I ran onto during my time as a personal trainer. I've had multiple people tell me that first one, it really doesn't eat what I matter. I'm just going to count the calories, so I can have that bag of chips as long as I figure in the calories. I can have that slice of pie as long as I count the calories, and it's all going to be fine because it's all, just calories. Well, not quite true. Your body handles food and processes food in different ways. There are definitely healthy choices and there are not so healthy choices. And yes, at the end of the day, they're all calories. They're all the fuel that your body burns to continue living and be able to do the activities that we do. But it really does matter. So having that portion of potato chips versus that portion of, let's say, a baked potato. The biggest difference between the two is you're losing a lot of the nutritional value out of that potato, even though they're both potatoes. Like, I get it. They're chips are potatoes and potato is potato. I got it. Potato, tomato, whatever. But you look at the two and the way those chips have been processed has removed a lot of the vitamins and nutrients that the potato itself has. And you get a lot of additional stuff, such as a lot of fats, oils, a lot of extra salt, and different stuff that they put into those potato chips to make them taste so amazing. And I get it, they do. Trust me, I love potato chips. But there's a healthy choice there. You can choose one or the other. And I'm not trying to say cut all of that good stuff out, because that's another mistake that people make. They try to go on this incredible journey, and instead of this journey being, I'm going to say the road is easy. There's going to be some uphill climbs, there'll be some downhill climbs, but instead of taking the, graveled, hilly road, they get on this like backwoods trail full of rocks and ravines and stuff that people think they have to just, cut out all the sweets, cut out all the potato chips, cut out all the pizza, all the things that we love. And to put not put too fine a point on it, that sucks. It's unpleasant. It's not fun. You don't enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy the journey, you're going to find a place to get off really quick. So don't go to the extremes, but manage your portions and manage what you intake. And we'll get a little more into that in a second. So calories do matter what they are. What you eat does matter. Healthy choices versus non-healthy choices. Another thing that I get from a lot of women that I've worked with is there's a fear, hesitation that, well, I have to do all cardio and I can't do any weights because I'm going to get bulky. I'm going to look like the stereotypical scary, gal off of the movies, who can take out most guys. It's like that's not that's not how the female body works. Guys have this thing called testosterone. And it plays has a major part to play in building muscle. Generally speaking, women will never get as bulky as men. They can lift weights however much they want. Not going to get as bulky men. It's just not going to happen. Thankful. This little myth is actually kind of going away with the advent of CrossFit and some of the other newer fitness lifestyles that have come about. A lot of that's getting a lot more popularity and showing that women can go out there and lift weights, like your traditional weightlifters or bodybuilders, or whatever, and they're not truly going to get bulky and look unfeminine. So that's the thing that a lot of women are scared about. If I lift weight, I'm going to get bulky and I'm not going to look feminine. Well, that's untrue. And the reason why I bring this up is, in my experience, you'll actually lose more weight over time doing or lifting weights than you will just doing cardio. It's good to have a blended program. Doing just one or just the other really truly isn't the way to a healthy lifestyle. And the way I define healthy is, balanced. If you are lifting weights or doing your workouts to compete in a specific event or a specific sport, then that's fine. Understood. Then you need to, if you're going to be out running, then you need in your event, you need to go out and run. If you are a power lifter and you need to lift heavy weights, well, then you need to lift heavy weights and maybe you don't need to run so much. But for the most of us, we need to have a balanced life. So you need both. Cardio is important because of the function that it provides for your health, for your heart and your lungs, and blood flow and keeping your mind sharp. All of that is great health benefits that cardio and running can do. But also lifting weights goes a long way to making your life easier. Carrying in those heavy bags of groceries from the car, for example, it makes your life easier, for mothers, carrying your children around, being able to just go out and play with your children, is part of what lifting weights is. And there's more to lifting weights than just going out and picking up heavy things and putting heavy things down. And if this isn't the forum to get into that, but if any of you do want to have any questions about what a good training program a balanced training program would be, get with me offline, after the conclusion of this sometime, and I'll absolutely help get any of that started up, or kind of give you some ideas on what that would look like. But it's a balance between the two. The last one down there is one that and maybe it's just because, I had people coming to me and they were paying for a service and they expected, results out of that service maybe a little more quickly than what is realistic. But I get a lot of people that would come in, and they tell me, well, I've been coming to you for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, and I haven't seen any changes, or the worst one is I've actually gained weight, and of course, they get frustrated. For those that are trying to lose weight, they get frustrated for that. And it's understandable, especially when you're paying for a service. However, the way your body works, it takes 4 to 6 weeks to start seeing any kind of physiological differences in your body. Up until that, your body's really just kind of in shock. And it's especially if you haven't been working out or you haven't been doing anything, your body's just kind of like, oh my goodness, what are you doing to me? And it's adapting, which is a good thing. That's what your body has to do. We have to stress the body. We have to push it forward to make it adapt and create those positive changes that we seek. But it really takes, like I said, 4 to 6 weeks to start seeing a physiological change. During that initial period, your body is making a lot of neurological changes. It's connecting those synapses. You're increasing your motor skills. You are creating a lot of proprioception, which is just awareness of your body in space and time, and building kind of the foundation to move forward. That's a critical period. You don't want to try to rush that period because it's building the foundation to help you move forward, and laying the building blocks to let you increase the intensities and increase the duration of your workout so you can start seeing those changes more quickly down the road. The other half of that, like I said, is, you get a lot of people who are looking at losing weight. And during that, after that initial 4 to 6 week period, they may have a slight increase in weight. Well, what's interesting is that muscle weighs almost twice as much, 2 to 3 times as much as the corresponding amount of fat. I'm sorry, I take it back. If you look at volume, like mass versus volume. So if you take a pound of fat, let's say, a pound of fat is going to be a little bit bigger than a softball. Like, kind of think of 2 softballs put together, roughly a pound of fat. Whereas a pound of muscle, correspondingly, is way less. You're looking at almost a quarter to a third of the same volume if you're looking at mass. So when people come to me and they're, well, I've gained some weight, so the first question I ask them, well, how do your clothes fit? Are your clothes any tighter? Well, normally the answer I get is, well, no, they're either the same or they are fitting looser. Well, that would indicate that you're definitely losing fat volume, but you're increasing your muscle mass because your body is adapting. And initially when you begin any training regimen, especially when you start lifting weights, there's going to be an initial period of drastic muscle. Drastic is it's a subjective term. Drastic meaning, compared to where you have been moving forward. But there's going to be a significant period of muscle growth during that initial stage, after that 4 to 6 weeks, where you may outstrip your body's weight loss when you talk about fat. But then eventually that will level out. and you'll start seeing those physiological changes, in, my waist is getting smaller, my neck is getting smaller, my clothes are starting to fall off of me, kind of, changes that you're looking for. Also, healthy weight loss, when we talk about, well, how much weight could I expect to lose? Ideally, about 1 pound to 2 pounds a week is healthy. If you go much faster than that, then it's likely that you're losing a lot of water weight, and you're going to start fluctuating back and forth because water weight comes and goes. If you're losing less than that, obviously you're not making a whole lot of progress forward. So whenever I had a goal, whenever I had a very goal-oriented person, and they're like, well, what's my goal? How much do I lose a week? Well, 1 to 2 pounds a week. And it sounds like that's not very much. But again, this is a life choice. You're changing your life. I'm not changing your life for the next 6 weeks or to get ready for bikini season. You're changing your life for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So when you look at that, if you have 50 pounds to lose and it takes you 25 weeks, or 30 weeks to lose that, or even 50 weeks, when you compare that to 10, 15 years down the road, that's really not that much time. So don't get discouraged when you're not seeing that progression as fast as what you would like. Okay, the slide to change here. I think it's got some lag time between us, Tammy.
Okay. You want me to try to advance it?
Yeah, if you would, please.
There you go.
There we go. All right. So here's probably the key. This is the key to success: portion control. All right. Everyone wants to jump on the exercise bandwagon, go out and do all those cool lifts and exercises and everything else, and it's like, well, that's how I'm going to change my life. Well, that's a portion of it, but this is really the key to success: managing your intake. How do I truly control my weight and change my life? Well, this is it right here, portion control. Because it's easy, especially in recent years. I mean, you can look at portion sizes, the portion sizes that we're supposed to have versus the portion sizes that we get at the restaurants. Usually you're getting more than twice what you really need if you look at how much, food should I take in when you go to a restaurant. And we've seen that so much that it's hard to determine portion sizes. And it's hard to make those choices. So ties into that, the tips: use what tools you have available. There's a lot of great apps out there, free apps, not to talk about anything that costs you anything. There's a lot of great free apps out there that are going to help to give you an idea of, well, how many calories do I need to intake, every day, and what are portions, how many calories do I get per this portion? There's a lot of tools out there, so many tools. The one that I use a lot is MyFitnessPal. It's a great tool. It's actually, there's 2 different apps that tie together. There's one that does all of the portions and the calories and the counting carbs and everything. Then there's another one that you can record your workouts on, and they actually tie together. So you can see how many calories did I burn during this workout and how many calories have I intake today. And then you can see how all that matches up. So it makes it pretty easy for you when you're recording that. And if you just Google calorie counters or Google free apps, there's so many tools out there that are available to use. So utilize those tools. And I actually have a couple of cheat sheets on the next page here that we'll get to in a second for, like an easy way to see your, what is a serving of chicken, or what is a serving of leafy greens. The other trick that I have when you're doing portion control is to really take the time to pre-portion your food out. One of the things that I do, I like for snacks, I like, nuts, dried fruit, things like that. And it's when you're on the go, I've got 2 little boys, my wife works, I work, we're in the process of building a business, and I've got the guard stuff that I do on the side too. So, I'm there. I understand how busy a person's life can be. So I take a day out of the week and I pre-portion all this, snacks and different things. And then I have drawers in my kitchen that I put these prepackaged snacks in. Like I said, I use nuts and fruits and different things, but it's a way for me to quickly access that. So I have them portioned out in like 50 calorie, 100 calorie, 150 calorie little baggies. And then I put them in a corresponding drawer that has, the same label on the front. So then I just, when I want a snack, I just reach in and I grab it and I know how much I've got. So it helps me kind of manage that throughout the day. And I know I make that sound easy, and I understand how difficult that is when you're starting out. I absolutely understand that. So it sounds very easy to just say, yeah, just do this and do this. And it's, but I understand it's a life change. Whenever you're making a life change, it's not easy. And I definitely understand that. But pre-portioning is probably the single best thing that you can do if you're wanting to try to really change your life and make yourself a healthier life. And so if we can go to the next slide here. So this is one little kind of guide that I have that you can kind of determine what is a serving size. So we always talk about when you look at, what's a serving size of this or that and the other thing. So if you look on this, if you make a fist, generally, I understand some people's fists are bigger than others, but this is kind of a general guide, a rule of thumb. It's going to equal the size of your fist is equal to about a cup. Also, it's a medium-sized fruit. For meats, you can use the palm of your hand to determine about a 3-ounce size. For cheeses, that's horrible, and I love cheese. And I am always eating way more than what I need to. But if you look at your thumb and look at it sideways, and the picture's a little goofy there, but if you look at your thumb and kind of draw a line where they did there and cut it if you look at it sideways, that's about an ounce of cheese. Your total, if you just were to cut your thumb off and lay it on the ground, that's about the same size. Very up there, very up at the tip, that's about a teaspoon of your thumb. And, if you're looking to measure different things, usually people's index fingers first to second joints about an inch. A handful, a couple ounces of snack food, and then a tennis ball there, half a cup. So this is kind of, like I said, a general off-the-wall guide that you can use to kind of estimate, your calorie intake or how much of a serving size it is. If you want to go to the next screen, please. So that was based off your hand. The next one we have here is just common objects that most people have seen around. So this is another way you can kind of portion things out. You got a baseball, a die, or just a single die, a deck of cards for your meats, fish and poultry, domino for your cheeses, computer mouse, for your baked potato or your starches. You got a golf ball for, your 2 tablespoons and tennis ball for your rice and pasta. So this is just some quick, guides that I've used, given people in the past when we're trying to figure out, I don't, rather than taking the time to weigh everything and measure everything and get, that deep into the weeds on it. If you have the time to do that, that's great, but most of us don't, and that's I definitely understand that. But when you're starting on this path, when you're starting to make the choices, this is an easy way to kind of help you move that forward. Okay. So now I'm just kind of open it up to everybody. I know I've thrown, quite a little bit of information out there, but I hope I made sense. Does anyone have any just like general questions? Maybe there's something that's just been bothering you for a while that you're just dying to know the answer of. Maybe I can help.
Hey, Chace.
Hey.
Hey, it's Sandy. I just wanted to say I love these pictures of portion sizes. I can remember this in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And I want to throw in, I eat out of little bowls and little plates for portion size at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an excellent trick that or a tip and trick that other people have used successfully before as well. Yeah, the bigger your plate is, the bigger the pile of food you can put on there, So yeah, having smaller plates and smaller bowls, yeah, absolutely, that's a great way to kind of subconsciously help control some of that intake. Great point.
And one thing I do when I go out to eat, I get what I want, nothing ridiculous, but I cut it all in half, and I'll ask the waitress right up front, can I have a little styrofoam thing? And I put half of that meal in the styrofoam, And I'm clever because I think, wow, now my dinner's half price because I get 2 meals out of this.
Right. Absolutely.
And Chace, I was going to bring up exactly that point on I think that there's sometimes a myth that healthy living, especially healthy eating, has to be expensive. But when you do practice portion control, like you said, or you opt for potatoes over potato chips, there can actually be some cost savings.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see S. Nor. I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but I see your chat there, and I'll get to you in just a second. But no, you're absolutely right. Healthy living, healthy eating rather, can actually be a lot less expensive when you start figuring out, well, how much should I have versus how much do I normally have? And then you can find a lot of the best. I know up here in South Dakota, it's a little bit more difficult because of the seasons, but if you have a farmer's market, they're nearby, that's an excellent source of fairly inexpensive produce, because you're cutting out 2 or 3 middlemen, buying it from, the producer versus, going it through the grocery store or whatnot. So with a little bit of thought, it can actually be less expensive to eat healthy. Okay. So S. Nor, so to avoid keeping calling you S. Nor, who am I speaking to here? Okay, Sam, gotcha, tracking. All right, Sam. So Sam wrote on here, I don't know if everyone can see it or not, but they're not trying to lose weight really. His main goal is just to be healthier. But you've been eating healthy in smaller portions. I've noticed my blood sugar drops even though I eat natural sugars like fruits, and not sure what I can do. Allergic to quite a bit of foods as well. So one thing that, like I said before, you don't have to try to cut cold turkey. If your blood sugar drops often, add in some, you've got those natural sugars like fruits and all that, which is great. Juice, adding in fruit juice, because then your body has less to digest. Some of that goes into your bloodstream a lot quicker. And I don't know how long you've been on your journey there, but your body does have to adjust. If your body's used to eating used to eating a lot of that more sugary types of foods, your body adapts, and it can adapt in a good way, and it can adapt in a bad way. Depending on how long you've had some of those not quite so healthy habits, your body may have adapted to that. So it's going through this transition period. But definitely fruit juices will help quite a bit. And, if you've got to throw in that odd piece of chocolate in there to help boost your blood sugar at times, that's okay. It's when we kind of go crazy about it. And instead of having 2 or 3 pieces of chocolate, I have 2 or 3 2 or 3 bars of chocolate. That's where we run into problems. So don't be afraid of throwing in that Jolly Rancher or having that piece of chocolate, whatever, to kind of help maintain that well-being, that good feeling, versus, just, trying to do that cold turkey. But, look at, like I said, those fruit juices, and like I said, not knowing kind of the full backstory there, it could be just your body is trying to adapt, and it's just taking a little bit to make that happen. Hopefully that answered your question.
And I'll sort of tee off that comment, Chace, on the changing habits and how long that takes. You really do have to stick with it. And using an example here at Central Administration, we've had 2 now of our H3 challenge, which is Habits, Health, and Happiness, essentially a weight loss challenge. So the buddy system was a key part of that, having teams so that you were accountable to a team and on your journey to lose a weight. And then also the fact that we made each challenge 12 weeks on purpose to really, for those who were committed, to help the participants change, not just lose weight, but change their habits. So by the end of the challenge, that they were really doing things differently than they did at the beginning of the challenge.
Absolutely. Excellent point. Yeah. It's not a 1 week or a 2 week or a 3 week change. I mean, this is really something that you have to stick with and keep working on and create those habits. And eventually it does become a habit. But it does take a while. So don't lose hope. Don't lose that drive. Awesome. Great points. Anybody else? Okay. Well, even though it seems like we may be rolling down to the end of our webinar here, that doesn't mean that that I'm going offline and nobody can reach out to me. Absolutely feel free to. I love talking to people about weight loss. I love talking to people about working out and doing that. You know, I even though I'm not working as a personal trainer now, I do miss it. And I always enjoy the opportunity to talk to people about it. So definitely, if you need or would like to get with me offline, you know, please feel free anytime. Just shoot me a jab or shoot me an email. Thank you, Tammy.
Yeah, thank you, Chace. That was really terrific, and a lot of great tips that are so easy for all of us to really embrace and take charge of our healthy living. I appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Chace.
Yep.